Once, when I was 6, I saw a magnificent picture in a book about the jungle called True Stories. In this book it said, boa constrictors swallow their prey whole without chewing. In those days, I thought a lot about jungle adventures and eventually managed to make my first drawing. My drawing number 1 was this. Grown-ups!
Yes?
Would you like to see my masterpiece?
Oh, yes!
Does my drawing scare you?
Why be scared of a hat?
My drawing was not a picture of a hat. It was a picture of a boa constrictor digesting an elephant.
Digesting a what? Oh, ridiculous!
So, then I drew the inside of a boa constrictor so the grown-ups could understand. They always need explanations. My drawing number 2 was this.
Oh, we're doing your drawings of boa constrictors outside or inside. Apply yourself to geography, history, grammar, and arithmetic. 2 plus 3 equals 5! Oh, well done! Bravo!
And that is why I abandoned, at the age of 6, a magnificent career as an artist. I have, in the course of my lifetime, had lots of encounters with lots of serious people. I have spent lots and lots of time with lots of grown-ups. I have seen them at close range, which hasn't much improved my opinion of them. Whenever I encountered a grown-up who seemed to me at all enlightened, I'd experiment on them with my drawing number 1, which I had always kept. I wanted to see if they really understood anything. They would always respond,
That's a hat!
So, I put my drawings aside and I chose a new career. I learned to pilot airplanes. And as a matter of fact, geography has been a big help to me. I've flown almost everywhere in the world without any trouble. Until 6 years ago, when I crashed in the Sahara Desert. Sleep on the sands 1,000 miles from anyone.
Please, Johnny has sheep.
Pardon me?
Please, Johnny is sheep.
You can imagine my surprise. This little fellow seemed neither to be lost, nor dying of hunger, or exhaustion, or thirst. But what are you doing here?
Johnny is sheep.
In the face of an overpowering mystery, you don't dare disobey. But then I remembered I had mainly studied geography, history, grammar, and arithmetic, and given up on a magnificent career as an artist. I don't know how to draw.
That's doesn't matter. Draw me a sheep. No, I don't want an elephant inside of a boa constrictor. A boa constrictor is very dangerous, and an elephant would just get in the way. Where I come from, everything is very small. I need a sheep. Draw me a sheep. This one's already quite sick. Make another. You can see for yourself. That's not a sheep. It's a ram. It has horns. This one's already quite old. I want a sheep that'll live a long time.
This is just a crate. The sheep you want is inside.
That's just what I wanted! Do you think the sheep will need a lot of grass?
Why?
Because where I live, everything is very small.
Well, I'm sure there should be enough. I've given you a very small sheep.
Not so small as all that. Look, he's gone asleep.
And that was how I made the acquaintance of the little prince. It took me a long time to understand where he came from. The little prince, who asked me so many questions, never seemed to understand the ones I asked him. There's things he said, quite at random, that bit by bit explained everything.
What's that thing over there?
Oh, that's my airplane. I can fly.
What? You fell out of the sky?
Yes, I did.
You fell out of the sky too? What planet are you from?
Do you come from another planet?
Of course. That wouldn't have brought you very far.
You can just imagine how intrigued I was of this hint of other planets. Well, where do you come from, little fellow? Where will you be taking my sheep?
The good thing about the crate you've given me is you can use it for a house after dark.
Of course. And if you're good, I'll give you a rope to tie your sheep up during the day.
Tie him up? What a funny idea.
Oh, but if you don't, you'll wander off somewhere and get lost.
Where would he go?
Anywhere. Straight ahead.
Even if he did, everything is so small where I live. Straight ahead, you can't go very far.
That was how I learned the second very important thing, which was that the planet he came from was hardly bigger than a house. Did you know there are hundreds of planets out there that are so small it's very difficult to see them, even through a telescope? But somebody saw his planet.
This is phenomenal! Look at those constellations! What's this? An asteroid of tiny proportions! I shall name it. I shall give it a name no one will ever forget. It shall hereby be called Asteroid B612.
I have serious reason to believe that the planet the little prince came from is asteroid B612. It was sighted only once by an inconsequential astronomer.
That's me. I shall make a formal demonstration of my discovery at the International Astronomical Congress.
Okay. Hi, thank you so much for coming. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. Hi. grown-up.
We can't take you seriously.
Grown-ups are serious. Oh. Oh. Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have discovered asteroid B6121212.
Oh, I do believe you. Look how seriously they're dressed.
Quite respectable.
Well done.
If I've told you these details about asteroid B612, and I've given you its number, it is on account of the grown-ups. Grown-ups like numbers. Whenever you tell them about a new friend, they never ask questions about what really matters. They never ask,
What does her voice sound like? What kind of games does she like best?
Does she like to collect butterflies?
instead, they ask,
How old is she? Does she have any brothers or sisters?
How much money do her parents make?
only then do they think they know her. So, if you told a grown-up that you saw a beautiful red brick house with geraniums at the windows and doves on the roof,
No, I can't imagine that.
you have to tell them, I saw a house worth $1 million.
Oh, what a pretty house!
So, if you told them that the proof of the little prince's existence is that he was delightful, that he laughed, and that he wanted a sheep. When somebody wants a sheep, that proves they exist. But if you told them that the proof of the little prince's existence is that he was delightful, and that the planet he came from is asteroid B612,
I see!
it's just the way they are. You mustn't hold it against them. Children should be very understanding of grown-ups.
Indeed! Huh? And I want to stop in the middle of a My apologies!
I should have liked to begin this story like a fairy tale. I should have liked to say, once upon a time, there was a little prince who lived on a little planet hardly any bigger than he was, and who needed a friend. The truth is, I don't want my story to be taken lightly. Sharing these memories is so painful for me. It's already been 6 years since my friend went away, taking his sheep with him. If I try to describe him to you, it's so I won't forget him. So I won't forget my friend. I don't want to become anything like the grown-ups who are no longer interested in anything but numbers. In the end, I'm sure to get certain important details all wrong. But here, you'll have to forgive me. My friend never explained anything. Perhaps he thought I was like himself. But I, unlike the little prince, cannot see the sheep or the sides of a crate. I may be a little like the grown-ups after all. I must have grown old. Every day, I'd learn something new about the little prince's planet, about his journey, about his departure. This is how I learned on the third day about the drama of the baobabs.
Isn't it true that sheep eat bushes?
Yes, that's right.
Ah, I'm glad. And they eat baobabs too, right?
Yes, I suppose so. Why do you want to know if your sheep eats baobabs?
Oh, come on. You know.
Watch out for baobabs. Ugh. Thanks again to the sheep, another secret of the little prince's life was revealed to me.
I'd like to see a sunset. Let's go look at one now.
Well, we gotta wait. I'm working.
For what?
Well, for the sun to set.
Oh! I still think I'm at home.
On his planet, all he had to do was move a few feet, and he could watch the sun set whenever he wanted to.
One day, I saw the sunset 44 times. You know, when you're feeling rather sad, sunsets are wonderful.
On the day of the 44 times, were you feeling very sad? On the 8th day, more details came my way.
If sheep eat bushes, do they eat flowers too?
Sheep eats whatever it can find.
Even flowers that have thorns?
Yes, even flowers that have thorns in them.
Then what good are thorns?
I don't know.
What good are thorns?
He'd never let go of a question once he'd asked it. Thorns are not good for anything. They're just the flower's way of being mean.
Oh! I don't believe you. Flowers reassure themselves whatever way they can. They believe their thorns make them frightening. Then you think flowers...
I don't think anything. I just said whatever came into my head. I'm busy here with something serious.
Something serious? You talk like grown-ups. You confuse everything. You've got it all mixed up. For millions of years, flowers have been producing thorns. For millions of years, sheep have been eating them all the same. And it isn't important trying to understand why flowers go through such trouble to produce thorns which are good for nothing. It isn't important trying to understand the war between the sheep and the flowers. Suppose I happen to know a unique flower, one that exists nowhere in the universe except on my planet, one that a little sheep could wipe out with a single bite one morning, just like that, without even realizing what he's doing. That isn't important. And if someone loves a flower of which just one example exists among all the millions and millions of stars and tells himself, my flower's up there, somewhere. And if a sheep eats the flower, then for him, it's as if all the stars went out. And that isn't important.
The flower you love is not in danger. I'll try your muzzle for your sheep. I'll try your fence for your flower. I soon learned to know that flower better.
it is breakfast time. Would you be so kind as to tend to me? Oh, oh, merci.
The rose soon began tormenting the little prince with her rather touchy vanity.
Oh, look at my thorns. I'm ready for tigers with all of their claws. Roar, roar, roar.
There are no tigers on my planet.
Oh,
And besides, tigers don't eat weeds.
oh, I am not a weed.
Forgive me.
I am not at all afraid of tigers, but I have a horror of drafts. You wouldn't happen to have a screen?
How complicated this flower is.
After dark, you will put me under a glass. How cold is it where you live? It's quite uncomfortable. A bird, oh bird, oh bird. Where I come from.
Ooh, that wasn't right. She had merely come here as a seed. She couldn't have known anything of other worlds. The rose had very nearly let herself be cut on the verge of a lie.
The screen?
I was going to look for one, but you were speaking to me.
And so, despite all the goodwill of his love, the little prince had soon come to mistrust the rose and had grown very unhappy.
I shouldn't have listened to her silly remarks. She perfumed my planet and lit up my life. I should never have run away. But I was too young to know how to love her.
On the morning of his departure, the little prince put his planet in order. The little prince's planet possessed 2 active volcanoes, which are very convenient for warming his breakfast. He also possessed 1 extinct volcano, because
You never
never
know.
And when he watered the rose one last time, he felt like
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Oh, I've been so silly. Oh, I ask your forgiveness. Try to be happy. Of course I love you, but it was my fault you never knew. Try to be happy. No, I don't need the glass. I don't want it anymore.
But the wind.
Oh, my coat isn't that bad. The night air will do me good. I am a flower.
But the animals.
I need to put up with 2 or 3 caterpillars to know the butterflies. Apparently they are very beautiful. Otherwise you will come visit me. You will be far away. As for the big animals, I have my own claws. Don't hang around like this. It's irritating. You made up your mind to leave. Now go.
she didn't want him to see her crying. She was such a proud flower. In order to make his escape, I believe he took advantage of a migration of wild birds. himself in the vicinity of asteroids 325, 326, 327, and 328. So, he began by visiting them in order to keep himself busy and to learn something. The first planet belonged to a business person.
Okay, let's see. 3 and 6 and 9 and I believe, that's a cluster of 7.
Hello?
4, see what happens.
Hello?
3 and 2 make 5. 5 and 7, 12. 12 and 3, 15. Hello. 15 and 7, 25. 25 and 5, 30. That amounts to 501,602,730. Woo!
500 million what?
Oh, you're still here? 501 million. Ooh, I don't remember. I have so much work to do. I'm a serious person. I can't be bothered with trifles.
501 million what?
Not once in his life did he ever let go of the question once he'd asked it.
You know those little things you see in the sky?
Flies?
No, those little shiny things.
Bees?
No, those little golden things that make lazy people daydream. I'm a serious person. I have no time for daydreaming.
Oh! You mean the stars?
Yes, that's it. Stars.
And what do you do with 500 million stars?
501,620,730. I'm a serious person, and I'm accurate.
And what do you do with those stars?
What do I do with them?
Yes.
Nothing, I own them.
You own the stars?
Yes.
And what good does owning the stars do you?
It does me the good of being rich.
And what good does it do you to be rich?
It lets me buy more stars if somebody discovers them.
How can someone own the stars?
Well, to whom do they belong?
I don't know. To nobody.
Then they belong to me because I thought of it first.
How can... And what do you do with 500 million stars?
I count them. I'm a serious person.
I own a flower, which I water every day.
Mm-hmm.
So it's of some use to my flower that I own her.
Yeah.
But you're not useful to the stars.
Whatever. 6 and 7.
Grown-ups are so strange.
That's it, I'm starting over. 3 and 2 and 4 and a decimal here for fun.
The second planet was inhabited by a very vain monarch. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Band, play me a ditty.
This guy.
Union workers. Visit from a subject. Approach so you can admire me.
Why are you giggling?
It's
It is my response to people admiring me. Blow me a kiss. It is a violation of etiquette to yawn in a monarch's presence. I forbid you to do so.
I can't help it. I've made a long journey and I haven't had any sleep.
Then I command you to yawn. Yawn again. It is in order.
I can't do it now.
Then I command you to yawn sometimes. And sometimes to admire me. Tell me I'm the most alluring, the richest, the fanciest, the most intelligent person on this planet.
But you're the only person on the planet.
Do me the favor and admire me all the same.
I admire you. May I sit?
I command you to sit.
Excuse me for asking.
I command you to ask.
Over what do you reign?
Over everything.
Over everything? Over all that?
Over all that.
And do the stars obey you?
Yes, of course. They obey immediately and admire me.
Such power had amazed the little prince. If he had wielded it for himself, he could have not watched 44, but 72, even 100, even 200 sunsets on the same day. And since he was feeling rather sad, out of remembering his own planet, which he had forsaken, he ventured to ask a favor of the vain monarch.
I'd like to see a sunset. Do me a favor, Your Majesty. Command the sun to set.
You shall get your sunset, and I shall command it. But you will have to wait until the conditions are favorable.
And when will that be?
Well, that will be around 7:40. And then you will see how well I am obeyed.
I'm sorry, but I have nothing further to do here. I'm going to be on my way.
Oh, please don't leave. I must be obeyed. I must be admired. Oh.
If Your Majesty desires to be promptly obeyed, you might give me a reasonable command. You might, for instance, command me to leave before this minute is up.
Obey me. Admire me.
Grown-ups are certainly quite extraordinary.
Band, play me a ditty.
The third planet was very strange. It was the strangest of all.
Clocking in for another day. Circle around the moon. Do it again. Get the moon. Turn it on. Do it again.
The little prince couldn't quite understand what use a street lamp and a lamp had up there, all the way in the sky on a planet without a single house and no people.
Good evening. Why have you just put on your lamp?
Orders. Good morning.
What orders are those?
Put out my street lamp. Good evening.
But why have you just lit your lamp again?
Orders.
I don't understand.
There's nothing to understand. Orders are orders. Good morning. Well, it's a terrible job I have. It used to be reasonable enough. I put out my lamp mornings and lit after dark. I had the rest of the day for my own affairs and the rest of the night for sleeping.
And since then, orders have changed?
Orders haven't changed. That's just the trouble. Year by year, the planet is turning faster and faster, and orders haven't changed.
Which means...
Which means now that the planet revolves once a minute, I haven't an instant to rest. I light my lamp and turn it out once every minute.
That's funny. Your days here are only a minute long.
It's not funny at all. You and I have already been talking to each other for a month.
A month?
Yes! For 8 minutes! For 8 days! Good evening.
The little prince grew fonder and fonder of this person who was so faithful to orders. The little prince himself remembered certain sunsets that he used to follow on different days, merely by shifting himself.
Good morning.
At least your work has some meaning. When you light your lamp, it's as if you're bringing one more star or one more flower to life. When you put out your lamp, that sends the flower or the star to sleep, which is a fine occupation and therefore truly useful.
Good evening.
Out of all the planets, the lamplighter was the only person the little prince might have made a friend. But he was much too busy. But what the little prince dared not admit was that he most regretted leaving this planet, as it was blessed with 1,444 sunsets every 24 hours.
Come on, let's clock out.
The fourth planet was 10 times bigger than the last. so, the little prince went on his way, thinking of his flower.
Goodbye!
The seventh planet was the Earth. The Earth is not just another planet. It contains 511 lamplighters, 17,000 geographers, 400 million, 11,500 business people, 511 monarchs. Ugh. In other words, a lot of grown-ups. And so, when the little prince reached the Earth, he was quite surprised to not see anyone. He was beginning to fear that he had come to the wrong planet. When?
Anyone I touch, I send back to the land from which they came. I feel sorry for you, being so weak on this granite earth. I can help you someday. If you ever grow too homesick for your planet,
I understand what you mean, but why do you always talk in riddles?
I solve them all.
The little prince climbed a high mountain. The only mountains he had ever known in his life were his two volcanoes, which came up to his knee. The little prince, it seemed that the people here had no imagination. They just repeated whatever you said to them. On his planet, he had a flower, and she always spoke first. But it so happened that the little prince, having walked a long time through sand and rocks and snow, had finally discovered a road. And all roads lead to where there are people.
We are here to entertain you.
Oh, except look at that flower over there. What is she doing with that bee?
You are too naughty. Oh, but this time is once. Oui. Un, deux, trois. Shall we take that place of the
Oui. Vous y faites pas de ces
Yes! Yes, we're on the stage. Perfect.
Good morning!
Lady sisters? Yes.
Oh, now I am in the front. Don't touch it. Time for the grand finale.
And who are you?
We are roses.
Oh, I see.
And Vinny.
His flower had told him that she was the only one of her kind in the universe. But here, there were so many of them, all just alike, and in just one garden.
She would be very annoyed if she saw this. She would cough terribly and pretend to be dying to avoid being laughed at. And I'd have to pretend to be nursing her, otherwise she'd really let herself die in order to humiliate me. I thought I was special because I owned just one flower. But all I own is an ordinary rose. That and 3 volcanoes which come up to my knee. One of which may be permanently extinct. I guess that doesn't make me much of a prince.
little prince was just a little boy, like 100,000 other little boys, and she had no need of him. And to the little prince, the fox was just a fox, like 100,000 other foxes. But if the little prince tamed the fox, then they would need each other.
You'd be the only boy in the world for me. I'd be the only fox in the world for you.
I'm beginning to understand. There's a flower. I think she tamed me.
If you tame me, my life will be filled with sunshine.
The fox could learn the sound of footsteps that would be different from all the rest. Other footsteps would send her back underground. But the little prince's footsteps would send her out of her burrow like music.
And look, you see the wheat field over there?
Normally, the wheat said nothing to the fox. But the little prince has hair the color of gold.
The wheat, which is golden, will remind me of you. And I love the sound of the wind in the wheat. So it'll be wonderful. Once you've tamed me. Please tame me.
What do I have to do?
You have to be very patient.
Okay.
And that was how the little prince tamed the fox. And when the time to leave was near,
I shall weep.
It's your own fault. I never meant to do you any harm, but you insisted that I tame you.
Yes, of course.
Then you got nothing out of it?
I got something because of the color of the wheat.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. I'll make you a gift of a secret. It's quite simple. One sees clearly only with the heart. Anything essential is invisible to the eyes.
Anything essential is invisible to the eyes.
It's the time that you spent on your rose that makes your rose so important.
It's the time I spent on my rose.
Your memories are very pleasant, but I have yet to repair my plane. I have nothing left to drink.
My friend the fox told me.
Little fellow, this has nothing to do with the fox.
Why?
Because because we're going to die of thirst.
It's good to have a friend, even if you're going to die. Myself, I'm very glad I had a fox for a friend. But I'm thirsty too. Let's find a well.
So, you're thirsty too?
Water can also be good for the heart. The stars are beautiful because of a flower you don't see.
Yes, of course.
The desert is beautiful. What makes the desert beautiful is that it hides a well somewhere.
Yes, whether it's the stars or the desert, what makes them beautiful is invisible.
I'm glad you agree with my fox.
It's funny. It's a well. I thought I was dreaming. Strange. Everything's here. The rope, the pulley, the bucket.
Hear that? We've awakened this well and it's singing.
Here. Let me do that for you. It's too far for you.
I'm thirsty. Let me drink some. Go, 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 go. You must keep your promise.
What promise?
You know, a muzzle for my sheep. I'm responsible for this flower.
You've made a plan I don't know about.
You know my fall to Earth? Tomorrow will be the first anniversary. I landed very near here.
I'm afraid that I...
You must get back to work now. You must get back to your engine. I'll wait here. Come back tomorrow night.
But I wasn't reassured. I remembered the fox. You risk tears if you let yourself be tamed.
Oh, you're here! Don't you remember? This isn't exactly the place. Yes, it's the right day, but this isn't the place. Just wait for me there. I'll be there tonight. You're sure your poison is good? You're sure it won't make me suffer long? Now go away! I want to get away from here!
You're talking to snakes now?
I'm glad you found what's the matter with your engine. Now you'll be able to fly again.
How did you know? I was just coming to tell him that I had been successful beyond all hope.
I'm leaving today too. It's much further. It's much more difficult. I have your sheep and the crate for it and the muzzle.
Little fellow, it's all a bad dream, isn't it? The talk about the snake and the field and the sheep and the...
What's important is what can't be seen.
Of course.
It's too small where I live for me to show you where my planet is. It's better that way. And when you look up at the stars, my star will be one of the stars for you. And since I'll be living on one of them, and since I'll be laughing on one of them for you, it'll be as if all the stars are laughing. You'll have stars that can laugh. And when you are consoled, everyone is eventually consoled. You'll be glad you've known me. You'll always be my friend. Tonight, don't come.
I won't leave you.
It'll look as if I'm suffering. It'll look as if I'm dying. It'll look that way. Don't come to see that.
I won't leave you.
I'm telling you this on account of the snake. Snakes are nasty sometimes. They bite for fun.
I won't leave you.
It's true they don't have enough poison for a second bite. Against the world. There. That's all.
6 years already. I've never told this story before, but now I'm somewhat consoled. That is, not entirely. But I know he did get back to his planet because at daybreak, I didn't find his body. It wasn't such a heavy body. But something extraordinary has happened. When I drew the muzzle for the little prince's sheep, I forgot to add in a strap. He could have never fastened it on the sheep. And then I think to myself, what happened there on this planet? Maybe the sheep has eaten the flour. Sometimes I think, of course not. The little prince puts his flour under a glass every day and keeps close watch over the sheep. Then I'm happy. Sometimes I think to myself, well, anybody can be distracted every once in a while, and that's all it takes. Maybe he forgot to keep close watch over the sheep. The sheep got out in the night and ate the flour into the glass. Then my joys turned to sadness. It's all a great mystery. To you, who love the little prince too. As for me, nothing in the universe will ever be the same as if somewhere, no one knows where, a sheep we have or have not seen has or has not eaten the flour. Take a look up in the sky. Ask yourself, has the sheep eaten the flour or not? And you'll see how everything changes. And no grown-up will ever understand how such a thing could be so